So somehow I slept on this, but this just caught my attention. Right now there's a lot of talk about Donald Trump sleeping and passing out, and Biden being angry about it, and people yelling at Trump for sleeping. Don't worry, everybody. The ship is sinking, and nobody is self aware of what's going on. And apparently, Joe Biden made himself a speech, or somebody gave him some words to read, and he was at least able to read it because Joe Biden, we're going to bind it up. He actually somehow came out of the woodwork and decided to speak out and remind us that the president works for the people, not the other way around. Tell us, Joe. Tell us.
Look, the American people are sending a message. They're sending a message. A message to Trump and to his crowd. And look, folks, I just want you to know, you work for us, Mr. President. We don't work for you. You work for us, not just billionaires and millionaires. I mean it sincerely. I'm angry. You work for us.
He's got that confused look. You work for us. Oh, wait a minute. I was president, and I was owned by millionaires and billionaires. Oh, correction. Technically, billionaires and multi-billionaires. How does that sound? Because a millionaire is now chump change in this economy, right? I mean, my goodness. This is the same Joe Biden whose campaign, including with Kamala, was simply overwhelmed with so much cash from Democrat donors that it became nothing more than a fart in the wind. Look at that. Look at that look right there. That is from somebody who is just remembering with the remainder of his brain cells that at one point he was president of the United States, including at one point vice president of the United States. And did he listen and work with the American people? No. He was more than happy, as he is once quoted for, to gladly prostitute himself to corporations. Remember that? Remember all those scandals? Remember how he signed the Credit Card Act? By the way, when Joe Biden signed with credit card corporations to make student debt what it is, yeah, that was working for us, all right. Working us over, slamming us over the table, and sticking it right up the wazoo without us not taking off our pants. I know, is that an elegant way of saying it? No, probably not. But there was more to this speech, and this has to deal with the aftermath of what happened on that election night in which, Zoran Mamdani became mayor of New York City, which, by the way, look, folks, not to be pessimistic here, but if you want to prove me wrong, hold his feet to the fire. Otherwise, nothing will fundamentally change, and he'll be like any other Democrat politician, like this guy right here.
You better get the damn government open.
Better get the damn government open.
Because look, folks, here's the deal. This is the.
By the way, sorry, that's such a low audio. Sorry about that, folks.
Trump is taking a wrecking ball not only to the people's house, but to the Constitution, to the rule of law, to our very democracy. And yet, while doing this, Trump at the same time can provide recent.
Thomas Cross. Thomas, I love you. And I love every single one of my viewing audience members. I do appreciate it, which is why everyone should like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that ring bell notification because YouTube is not notifying you guys when we go live. That's right. I'll be mentioning this in a couple of videos because YouTube's been acting weird. Joe was a great president. Ask anyone from East Palestine, Ohio. Get up and go see the White House counselor right now. Tell her what you just said.
To the rule of law, to our very democracy. And yet, while doing this, Trump at the same time can provide recently, on his own account, $40 billion line of credit to Argentina without even the government voting for it? Who in the hell does he think he is?
Just like a lot of our money went to Ukraine. Or a lot of our money went to, Israel during the bombings in Gaza, right? Still ongoing, by the way. I mean, we were somehow able. By the way, all that money going to Ukraine, how's that working out? Look, what happened with Argentina getting all that money too? Yeah, you know what I would like is if the American people got a paycheck. So that would be nice if we got ourselves a bailout. That'd be lovely. Hey Joe, I think you were president, and I think you could have done something to stop that. By the way, yes, I noticed that everyone has been commenting about the donkey social emotional learning. I saw your comment in the chat. But Natalie Williams, I think you take the cake. Natalie Williams, one of our moderators, says, ass out in front. Seems right, about right. Hey, when in doubt, put your ass out. Okay, wait a minute. I better not see anybody talking like that or commenting on social media or saying that you learned it from Hardlands Media. No, internet. Absolutely not. I forbid you. I forbid you.
Has anyone noticed how much the Trump family has made while he's been president, put in their pocket? Reported $1.8 billion. Can you imagine if any other president in American history did that? Can you imagine what would happen? Has anyone noticed how much the Trump family has made while he's been?
Now, listen, I do find it funny how he's saying, like, can you imagine all the money Trump is doing and making? Now, look, am I surprised by this? No. Oh, Kit, did you know that Trump's doing this and that? Yes, I know. Did you know that other presidents did that too? Whoa, what are you talking about? Or other politicians doing that too? No, that does not count. No, it does count. It does count. You know, yes, I get it. Everyone is so upset at Trump, but my God, I feel like I feel like I've been taking crazy pills without my consent. Like somehow somebody's crunching it and putting it into my cereal. Like, all right, kid, have some crazy pills. Did you know that all these presidents and politicians have been doing insider trading and getting a little bit of a side deal? Did you know that the Epstein files have not been released? See what I did there? I made you remember. Did you know that there's money for wars and bailing out banks, but not for the people? Did you know? Did you know? And right now, everyone's so upset about Trump sleeping. Trump sleeping. Now, what's the deal with Trump sleeping, right? Because it kind of has to deal with this too. You know, everyone's kind of mocking him and making fun of him, and it's funny. It's to me, it is kind of funny, but on the way of like, oh, look how foolish Trump is looking sleeping. I don't care if he's sleeping. I truly don't care. Okay, because like having a job for presidency might be pretty boring. Could be pretty boring.
Who live in food deserts and are suffering from obesity and are locked into that system.
Now, it looks like a long closed eyes. Hey, I'm guilty of that too. Okay. In school, we're all kind of guilty of that, or in college, or maybe at a business meeting or something of that nature. You just kind of close your eyes for a few seconds. You're kind of at peace. You're sitting comfortably in the chair. It's nice and warm. Listen to my voice as you're passing in and out. You're feeling a little wobbly. Wish you were at home in bed. You're thinking about it right now. You're just so tired.
President Trump has also instructed us to address and the root causes of chronic disease.
I know. Hold on. Wait. I know that phase right there. Hold on. See, now that one right there.
The root causes of chronic.
That's body, like emergency shock. Like, hey, wake up, man. Wake up.
Disease. Who made this happen? They saw that this could be a win-win situation.
He's like RFK Jr. Speed it up.
That this was not a zero-sum game, a savings, and that's because the price of diabetes prescriptions is also going to drop. Do not have diabetes. People who have a BMI of 27 and above, or pre-diabetic, or have heart.
Good reason against it. Now, MAHA is critical. America will have to get fit in order to right-size the healthcare system and sleep and dealing with issues related to that. And I want to say it as clear as I can. Secretary Kennedy mentioned New York City. It actually, the number one zip code is the Upper East Side, which is where you have property. And folks who know, but I don't measure it in pounds. I measure it in saved lives. People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed. Folks whose knees don't hurt. People who don't have.
Yeah, he's like, all right, Oz, Kennedy, this is boring. We're not going to do anything about healthcare in this country.
Heart attacks, renal failure, dementia, all the things we know are associated with obesity and much more.
And Myra Page, War of the Grandpas. Oh, because everyone's forgetting. Everyone's forgetting about Joe Biden. I want to play this here.
Talking about over a period of time at a public function. We're not talking about Joe Biden in private. We're talking about at a public function that he was hosting in the Oval Office, and he went to sleep while people were speaking about national policy. He went to sleep, and obviously they seemed to around him know he'll do it, because nobody even kind of nudged and played like wake him up. They're used to this. He slept through. People are speaking while he speaks. People are addressing.
He's probably thinking, damn it, in 2016, I got elected. This was all BS. Hillary was supposed to win. I was supposed to launch my own Fox News network. Now I got to be president of the United States to all these people.
This one would be the front. This would be the cover. Like, we could, I mean, just give me 1 second. I know we got to get to break. If we.
Actually, you know something, Thomas Cross? I take medical advice from our own Dr. Nick Riviera, okay? Our own PhD, Dr. Nick, and Dr. Donnie. That's right, folks. That's right. Hardlands Media has doctors. Do you know any other YouTube channel that has doctors? Yeah, take that, hotshots. But Kit, are you sure they're medically licensed? I don't need proof.
If this was Biden, go back one picture. That would be the image on the cover of the New York Post. Yeah. And it would be, you know, too old to stay awake.
And yes, our wonderful, incredible nurse, Alex. By the way, Alex, I know you're lurking. We see you and we love you.
For whatever this meeting is, why don't they care that he's either too tired to do the job, or that the people around him who seem to control the press with every tool in their arsenal don't get, I mean, if he can't stay awake, why is the camera still in there?
And because they were doing a press conference. This was not a meeting. This was a press conference.
Okay, Al Sharpton, listen, just to remind all y'all, this was Joe Biden.
Mr. President, today you and I, and you've been so generous with your time in these difficult days, you and I are going to write yet another chapter in the beautiful story.
Wake up, Joe. Wake up. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon.
Of the friendship between our two nations, the United States of America and the Jewish and Democratic State of Israel.
That's why Joe Biden fell asleep. Or that's why Joe Biden lost. He fell asleep. He fell asleep during this entire conference.
Both of us who seek to do good and need to be strong, both of us who are a lighthouse in a very, very stormy world. Thank you, Mr. President. I look forward to working with you now and for many years forward. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, okay, there you go, Joe. But hold on, that's not the first time Joe fell asleep.
With the U.S. in support of the development of the Lobito corridor.
When he spoke to all the leaders in Africa, he just like fell asleep. Remember, Joe Biden was against busing and desegregation. You know, he's quoted as saying he didn't want his white kids to be with black kids. Remember that? Remember when Kamala Harris said that she was that little girl?
Tanzania views the Lobito corridor as an integral part of a broader strategy to enhance connectivity in Africa. We also appreciate the fact that the implementation of the project will provide important opportunities for Africa's development in sectors such as agriculture, renewable energy, digital transformation, trade and logistics along the corridor. Tanzania is already undertaking internal consultations aiming at aligning this project with national priorities and other bilateral and regional commitments.
Wake up, Joe. Wake up. Almost the same kind of body language. And this right here. Remember Lahaina? Good friend of the show, Craig Jardula Pasa, did a fantastic documentary over there. Remember the dangerous wildfires that took place? Remember those fires that destroyed people's lives? U.S. citizens. Here's Joe Biden asleep.
Never met before.
Wake up, Joe.
We are a community that relies on family, on ohana, whether by blood or by friendship. But like many others, My son's home burned down. My daughter's home
Oh, see? That was an immediate wake up.
burned down. My daughter's home burned down. My home burned down. My parents of 59 years home never met before.
My God. And Crom says many have forgotten about Maui. Nah, Hardlands Media hasn't. A lot of people have not forgotten. There are plenty of people out there who remember Lahaina. Now, why am I talking about this? Because you're probably saying, "Well, kid, this is news about Joe Biden yelling at the president to be held accountable." That's understandable. Or then you got Trump sleeping, and then the videos of Biden sleeping. It's the war of the grandpas. It's the war of our of the old system that we have here. Is anyone not surprised? Have you noticed that any time the Democrats, Republicans are in control, they always start putting on this big grandstand of, oh, the reason why things are bad is because this party forgot, or the party is doing this and my party's better. It's the same story over and over again. Everyone's asleep at the wheel as our economy is crashing, and there's still a government shutdown going on. You know, our politicians are enjoying their best lives right now. You understand this is a holiday season going into November, Thanksgiving, going into December, Christmas. You know, you got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. You know, some of the coldest months where people actually need money for a controversial statement in a 3, 2, 1, pay the bills for heating, making sure they got gas in the car to go to work so they can make the money to pay the bills, put food on the table, and everything else in between. Yet everyone's asleep. I don't care if Trump is asleep. It's not the first time I've seen a sleeping president or a sleeping politician. They're people too. Hey, politicians can be people. I know that's a controversial statement there to say, and I apologize if that offended people, because it's unfair to make politicians be perceived as people, but they're people too. But what really matters right now is that do we have keen-eyed eagles at the gates? Meanwhile, as Americans struggle, and unfortunately, we don't. And it calls for real accountability. But the first step is waking people up and realizing that if you vote for Democrat or Republican, you're going to still get one the same. Break away from it. Citizen ballot initiatives, mutual aid, supporting and building independent movements, third-party movements. I mentioned Jose Vega and Larry Sharp. They're running as independents. But I do encourage other people to do the same thing too. You could hear a president start saying, oh, yes, can you believe that Trump did this and Trump did that? Well, what Trump is doing isn't anything new. It's just when he does it, lights, camera, Hollywood action. But it's been going on for decades, and everyone's pretending this is brand new when it's not. The state of our media, the state of our politicians. Everyone's asleep, from the media, the political class, everyone. Wake up to reality.